call to everybody within earshot here that this is the moment to get it done. So thank you. Senator Hoeven.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Mr. Secretary, good to see you. Guess first time I want to bring up is Senator Klobuchar, Senator Hyde-Smith, myself, Senator, all of whom are on the Ag Committee, also Senator Kramer, and then House members, too, on a bipartisan basis, have sent you a letter in regard to the end date on crop insurance. Because of excess moisture, North Dakota, Minnesota, some other states, our farmers are butting up against that end date, whereby if they don't have their crops in the ground, be it corn, soybeans, whatever it is, that then they suffer discounts on crop insurance, which then, of course, causes them to go to prevented plant. Well, because they become concerned about that discount. Well, obviously, at a time of food inflation, we want as many of them as possible planting a crop. And so the proposal to you is through CCC or one of our programs to actually offer to cover some of that discount so that they'll actually go ahead and try to get those crops in the ground even though they're going past that crop insurance end date. And so I think it's something to look at because it would actually save the USDA money, save the government money from the standpoint of you're not paying out more prevented plant, you're paying out less by covering that discount, and at the same time you get more crops in the ground to help with food inflation. So that's the proposal to you, but it's something you'd need to move on pretty quick if you're going to do something to help there because obviously they're getting those crops in the ground now and they have to make those decisions.
Senator, is this the letter that was sent yesterday? Mm-hmm. Okay. I haven't had a chance to review it, and I'm happy to talk to our team about it. I think part of the challenge that we face whenever we get into this particular area is making sure that we don't compromise the relationship between the insurers and the producers in terms of the overall crop insurance program, that we don't essentially create a circumstance where the risk is difficult for the crop insurance folks to be able to calculate. But I'm happy to take a look at what you all have written, and we've, as I think we've exhibited in the past, we're more than happy to try to provide help and assistance where it makes sense.
Well, yeah, we appreciate that, and I did talk to members of your staff about it as well, and that's why we've pitched it in the format that we have so that you're not dealing with your insurance contracts and you don't run into any of those issues. So that's specifically why we've structured it the way we have. Appreciate your help and support and work on the disaster assistance. We call it WIP Plus, but you have called it ERP, Emergency Relief Program, and also the Emergency Livestock Relief Program. Under ERP, Phase 1 is out. Just a brief recap of how that's going and when you anticipate getting to Phase 2.
Well, on the crop side, there are roughly over 300,000 applications that are pre-filled that have gone out and are going out this week by Friday. All 300,000 will be in the hands of farmers. Pre-filled applications, so all they have to do is check a few boxes and sign it. There have already been a number of farmers that have come into the office and they've already received their checks. And I believe it's a matter of days. Once you basically file your application, you receive the resources. So that's the first phase, and we would expect the second phase sometime this summer after we've gotten a better understanding of precisely who wasn't covered by NAP, who wasn't covered by crop insurance, who wasn't covered by the livestock forage program, so that we would be in a position to be able to define the universe of that second tranche. But we wanted to get resources out as quickly as we could, and I think we've been able to accomplish that.
Appreciate your work on that and on the Emergency Livestock Relief Program, which we're working with you on as well. My other question, though, relates to Livestock Indemnity Program, LIP program. You and I talked about, for those, where they suffer mortality due to these blizzards, is really in the smaller calves for the most part, that 250 pounds or less. We actually worked with our FSA director out in North Dakota, Marcy Svenningson, who is doing a fine job. And one of the ideas we talked about was combining those two smallest weight categories in terms of the reimbursement rate as something that would really work. The 250 pounds and less doesn't work. It just doesn't compensate the rancher for what they lost there. If you actually combine the two bottom of the four tiers, it probably would work. That was an idea she put forward. I thought a very good one, and so I want to pose it to you as well.
Well, as you know, there were changes made in 2020 to create a new category. And we're certainly committed to taking a look at realigning the categories if it makes sense. Happy to do that. I would say, just as a general proposition, the questions you're asking, Senator, I think raise my opportunity to say, when you're looking at Farm Bill, I tell you, this notion of disaster assistance, the notion of helping farmers through difficult times because of climate-related circumstances, there has got to be a real thought behind this in terms of the flexibility, in terms of the capacity to adjust depending upon conditions, because I think we're facing a much different set of circumstances than we have in the past relative to disaster. And I think your questions basically underscore that.
Right, and we've worked in that way to try to develop these programs, be it WIP Plus or what we do with some of the livestock programs, with the idea that we'll go into the Farm Bill and address them as part of the Farm Bill.
But it's important to understand the regional differences and the crop and the commodity differences.
Absolutely. Absolutely, right on. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I believe we have Senator Gillibrand with us virtually, and then next will be Senator Ernst.
Thank you.